Your Pennzoil 10-minute oil change centers in PennSmarts and the new Dodge.
Welcome to Veterans Stadium and our game of the week. Tonight, it is Cathedral Prep against the Central Falcons, the final game of the season, and a chance for one of these teams to go into the playoffs. The winner will be the second team out of the Metro League to enter the Quad A playoffs. Central has... Prep actually, Central won the toss deferred and Prep elected to receive, right, Jim?
Gary, this is like the first playoff game for both these teams. Winner, get out.
Laird with his foot into the ball, sends it over to the far sideline where it is taken by Ramon Ellis. And Ellis is hit as he crosses the 15 and goes down to the 19-yard line. The Ramblers of Cathedral Prep will take over the football 1st and 10 at the 19. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Quality and value that's simply the best. A pretty good backfield for Cathedral Prep, Jim, when everybody's healthy, led by tailback Justin Lustig.
Great backfield, I think, Gary. They're as talented as anybody. Boy, anytime you can stop a team in high school inside the 20, that's pretty good kick coverage.
You got it. By the way, Cesar Montevecchio back at center, starting for the Ramblers again this week. And the first give is to Lustig, barreling his way over the 20 out to the 23-yard line, where it's a gain of 4 and a 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Central Falcons.
One setback, Gary. Kind of a new look for the Ramblers, isn't it?
One setback. We've most of the time seen Rasan Powell leading Justin Lustig through the holes. That time Lustig was tackled by Steve Masson after a looks like a good 5-yard gain.
Right. I'll tell you, Eric Lind, a great junior defensive player for Central. He's added to the injured list. He'll be missed.
Yeah, injured last week, is not playing this week. Straight ahead give. Again, it is Lustig who puts his head down and creeps across the 25. Comes up about a couple of yards short of the first down on the 26-yard line. As the Falcons defensive lineup, a two-troop is the main man of that defense, although Chantel Mathis and Dale Vactor, it's a pretty good defensive line. It is a defense, however, that's had to spend a lot of time on the field occasionally this year.
I'll tell you, Gary, Central played very well against McDowell before tiring out. See what happens here. Lustig's got the corner.
On the pitch play at the 30, a first down, and then is hit and down at the 35-yard line. Ramon Kennard making the stop on the play for the Falcons, but at the first down, quick pitch to Lustig, Jim. They just wanted to get him the ball and get him outside, throwing him to the weak side formation. Weak side of the formation, I should say, and he picked up a good 5-6 yards.
Quarterback Owen George, very solid quarterback, makes the perfect read, gets the ball out to Lustig. Now, Lustig carried it 35 times on a wet field against McDowell. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, much different conditions this week than at McDowell last week in the rain. Lustig again gets a good block at the 40, and then has his feet cut out for under him by Art Farrell at the 44-yard line. But it's a gain of 7, sets up 2nd down and 3 for the Ramblers.
One of my favorite players is sophomore Eric Farrell, 32, a linebacker for the Central Falcons. I really like him. I think he's an outstanding player. One of the better linebackers in the city despite his 10th grade status. As a matter of fact, 3 of the better sophomore linebackers are in this game.
Here's the straight ahead give, and it is a first down for the Ramblers as they go barreling ahead. Number 30 is Jim Staub running out of the fullback position, tackled by Eric Farrell, but not before he moves the sticks and gets a first down. And a good opening series for Prep so far, Jim. They're running the football, 2 first downs to account for.
Yeah, what Minute George wanted, what Joe Tarasovich didn't want. I look for Central to start shooting the gaps, try and disrupt this Prep ground machine.
Have to stop the run if you're going to stop the Ramblers. Coming off that tough loss in overtime, double overtime, if you will, to McDowell last week. Lustig, nice hole. 50, banged out of bounds as he gets into Central territory at the 46-yard line. And Ramon Kennard, number 24, as well as Art Farrell, number 30, really laid the leather to Justin Lustig. But he picked up a good 6 yards, make it 2nd down and 4.
Gary, you'll see they're running the short side, straight pitch. They're pulling a guard. And Lustig, does anybody read the gap quicker and better than Justin Lustig? Here it is right here. You can see him following the block of the fullback and taking it inside, taking a good hit also.
2nd down 4, now in Central territory, close to the 45-yard line. Here is number 22, Rasan Powell, streaks it to the outside and appears to have a first down as he's marked out near the 40. Knocking him out of bounds is Ramon Kennard again as they keep attacking that side. Lamar Owens also up from his safety position to make the stop.
Gary, all Powell did that time is read the block. He took a little stutter step, saw where the hole was, and gained good yardage.
First and 10, third consecutive first down, all of it on the ground. It's ticked off about 3 minutes so far, just inside of 9 minutes remaining from the 39-yard line. Quick inside handoff to Powell. Lost the football. It's on the ground, and Central says they have it. And the official says, too, a turnover for Cathedral Prep at the 37-yard line, giving the ball to the Central Falcons.
Coming up with it, number 78, Gary.
Ken Nixon, number 78. It looked like just a bad exchange between Owen George and Rasan Powell, Jim.
The timing was definitely off on the play. Powell was by George when they tried to get him the ball. So a big defensive play. That's what Central's going to have to do, come up with turnovers to stop Prep.
So the Falcons will have Jerry Troop at quarterback. Lamar Owens is the tailback. And Lamar Owens with a great game a couple of weeks ago when we saw him against McDowell out at Gus Anderson Field, receives the call and picks up about 3 yards up over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Eugene Crosby, the right defensive tackle of the Prep defensive alignment, makes the stop.
Lamar Owens gave a sensational performance against McDowell starting at running back.
Here's the Falcons' offensive starting lineup. Ken Nixon at that right tackle position after just recovering the fumble defensively. Jerry Troop, the young sophomore quarterback. Lamar Owens from his tailback position.
A lot of new names from the first time we saw Central this year, Gary.
Absolutely. Second down and 6. And the give in the backfield is stopped nicely. Number 32 for Central running the football.
It was Farrell, the sophomore
right.
fullback, and a sophomore linebacker. We talked about sophomore linebackers. This time it was Prep sophomore linebacker Irvin meeting Central sophomore linebacker Farrell, and then you throw in Bowers, another good sophomore linebacker.
Defensive alignment for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. And it can be a good one. I mean, obviously there was a lot of rain last week, but they held down a very potent McDowell offense in the downpour last week at Gus Anderson Field. Had to give them some confidence despite the weather conditions.
Great game. People still talking about it.
Here's a long developing play. Troop gives it to Lamar Owens, and Owens catches it and runs up near first down yardage at the 48-yard line. Took a while to develop, but they finally got the ball to Owens, and Matt DeRamo stopped him, but not before it looks like he picks up a first down.
Fake the reverse to the flanker and set up the screen pass, and they had 2 blockers and only 1 defender, and Owens did what he had to do. He got enough yardage just to get the first down.
Initial first down of the game for the Central offense. They have it at their own 48-yard line, first and 10. Prep received the opening kickoff, picked up 3 first downs, then fumbled it away. And now Central trying to do something, keeps it on the ground. Lamar Owens, straight ahead give, crosses the 50, and at the 47-yard line, he'll be downed after a gain of 4 as Jason Larson makes the stop for the Ramblers.
Gary, football fever didn't exactly hit these 2 schools, did it? Even though they may be in the playoffs. Central has more maintenance men than they have in the stands. I mean, don't they have quite a number of students up there?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Okay.
There you see the winner of the Prep Central game will play Meadville at General McLean next Thursday night, November 2nd. The loser will end the season as Lamar Owens bangs into the middle, gets to the 45. It's going to be third down and 3 yards from there. Of course, Warren and McDowell will play in the other semifinal game that night at the stadium. Both games kicking off at 7:30, and both first-round games in the Quad A bracket will be November 2nd. That is a Thursday night. Double A will go Friday, triple and single will go Saturday, and we'll give you those matchups as we move along in the game. Third down and 3, and the pitch to Owens. Breaks a tackle, goes near the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot of the football near the 42. Jake Sack running down Owens as he tried to turn the corner.
Boy, nothing fancy, but just enough, Gary. You know, every third down coming up with a big play, and it's right in front of the sticks, and they still have to measure. So if it's right in front of the sticks and you have to measure, what's that going to tell you? But it won't matter, because I'll guarantee Joe Tarasovich will go for it if it's short, but it isn't.
Big number 71, Jeff Brostowski, a starting offensive tackle for Central in this football game. We did not have him listed as one of our starters, but he is starting, put in there in place of Eric Lynn. And he is doing the job so far on that left tackle position for Central as they pick up their second first down, move the sticks again, and from the 42-yard line of Prep, it will be first and 10 for the Falcons.
Nothing fancy, but getting the job done.
And Owens is smashed behind the line of scrimmage by number 44, Ryan Irvin. There is the young sophomore that Jim LaCourcic, you've alluded to all year as being something special, and he showed it on that play.
His older brother, Brett Irvin, was an outstanding wrestler and football player at Cathedral Prep.
Loss of 2. Here it is again.
Just shot the gap. Nobody picked him up. That's called the clinic tackle right off the videotape. This is how you do it, fellas.
Ryan Irvin, indeed. Loss of 2, 2nd down, 12. As Jerry Troop, the young sophomore with the I formation behind him, quick 3-step drop, flings it, and it's in and out of the hands of Eric DeFelice at the 35-yard line. Rasan Powell was defending on the play, number 22, but it should have been caught by DeFelice.
It really shouldn't. I saw Lustig kind of slipping in. I thought he was going to have a shot at the interception, but again, here's Rashawn Powell, just unable to go with that ankle, Gary. And that's a shame because he's an outstanding football player. Number 28 replacing him.
Phil Auditore in place of Rasan Powell at the 1 linebacker position. 3rd and 12 at the 43. Pitches to Owens. He'll give it. No, he'll keep it. Faked it to DeFelice. Has an opening at the 40, at the 35. First down at the 30, and down to the 28-yard line. Ramon Ellis dragged him down, but he faked the reverse to DeFelice. And then just a nice bit of running by Lamar Owens. He was holding that ball with one hand rather precautiously, but managed to find a hole and pick up a first down.
Gary, every big 3rd down play, they're just using Lamar Owens' athletic ability. Another nice call there, a little fake reverse. Let Owens get some running room, and he's taking advantage of it.
And Coach Joe Tarasovich wanted to do this from the beginning of the season with Randy Carson as the tailback, Lamar Owens as the flanker. Here's Owens straight ahead, nice running room inside the 25 to the 22, but they wanted to use Owens like Roosevelt Benjamin last year, sort of put him in a slot, put him at the tailback position, but Randy Carson going down with an injury about a third of the way into the season forced them to put Lamar Owens first back at quarterback when Jerry Troop went down, and then back at tailback when he was healthy again.
Gary, you can just see renewed interest in that central huddle. They're high-fiving, they're slapping each other, going, wow, we can move this ball, let's go. They're getting a little fired up.
2nd down and 3 at the 21. Here's a 2 Troop from his fullback position, barreling at the 5. Touchdown Central. A 2 Troop, number 7, running it in off a huge hole, streaking to the outside, beating the Ramblers to the end zone, and Central has drawn first blood here in the first quarter.
One pass, that was incomplete, constantly running the ball. Well, they convert 3 third downs, 4 third downs, but I said it in the huddle, Gary, they got a lot of confidence. Boy, Troop running strong, takes the ball, almost loses control of it going into the end zone. That would have made Joe Tarasovich quite happy.
So here's Joe Laird, number 10, fine field goal kicker, attempting the extra point here with 3:56 to go in the first quarter. It's up. It is good. Central with a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania is an investment in your future. We offer over 140 majors in undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral level programs. We have smaller classes, one-on-one teaching. We're recognized as a Best Buy university by many of the nation's leading college guidebooks, including Barron's and Money Magazine. Plus, we're rated as one of the 5 safest universities in the country. Strong character development in both academics and athletics. IUP, on the field and the classroom, we know what it takes to make you a winner. IUP, check us out.
Crunchy, salt, crunchy, salt.
Why are the 2 biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they could have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the nacho cheese double-decker taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
Joe Laird booting a low roller that is picked up at the 40, across the 40 to the 43 by the Ramblers, number 24, Jake Sack, in that coverage team for Cathedral Prep. Nice return, good field position for the Ramblers to start this offensive series.
Following that fumble recovery by Central's Dixon, the Falcons went 63 yards in 11 plays, ate up 5:02.
3 minutes and 44 seconds and counting left to play here in the first quarter. And remember that Cathedral Prep was driving the football Fumbled it away after 3 consecutive first downs. Central then took it and drove it into the end zone. We have a timeout on the field. Let's take a timeout, too. 7-0 in favor of the Falcons.
The sign says it all. Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards. Whether you're looking for an unbelievable selection of tantalizing food or one of the best spots in Erie to relax, shoot a couple games of pool or watch your favorite game on one of 13 TV screens, the place to go is Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards. Just look for the giant sign on the corner of Peach and Liberty. Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards, where food and fun is the program.
Dodge Intrepid has more available power than Camry, more available safety features than Accord. It's rated less expensive to maintain than Bonneville, and its cab-forward interior is bigger than Taurus's. So it's no surprise that Intrepid's resale value is higher than all of the above. Or should I say, all of the below. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything. Now lease the cab-forward room and stability of Intrepid for just $259 a month.
Gary Drapcho along with Jim LaCorchick. The time left, 3:44. The score, 7-0 Central. Let's see what the Ramblers can do on this offensive series, Jim. It looked like they were very effective. They just turned the ball over the first time they had it. Here's Lustig. Good cutback. Gets about 5, maybe 6 yards out close to midfield, where it'll be 2nd down and 4, and Steve Masoni making the stop for the Falcons.
Gary, I'm not too sure Minute George will even give anybody a chance to touch the ball on this drive besides Lustig. If I was Central, I'd just be sending everybody at Lustig. I think you'd make something happen. Prep, starting to feel a little pressure. Central moved the ball right down the field.
Out of the I formation. Here is big number 30 rumbling into the secondary. Has a first down. He's at the 20. He's at the 15-yard. Check that, the 25-yard line before he's finally dropped down as they ram it down the throats of the Central Falcons.
Wow, Staub.
Jim Staub bowling his way into the secondary, Jim, and he found a hole. Once he got through that initial surge, he was almost gone.
Central did exactly what I told them. They sent everybody at Lustig. That'll teach him to listen to me.
Yeah, Don Johnson.
Look at that. Great opening for Staub, and he's running hard.
Back to live action we go. Here is the pitch back to Lustig, and Lustig cuts it inside the 20 and is all the way down to the 17-yard line. So another solid gain on first down. In fact, it's pretty close to another first down. It looks like he's going to be about 2 yards short, but an 8-yard gain for Justin Lustig.
How quick does Lustig look on artificial turf? And thank heavens for artificial turf after the weather we've had the last few weeks.
This is where the school district officials are hoping that it pays off. We'll see quite a few playoff games, District 10, maybe beyond that here at the stadium. Lustig with the football, trying to turn the corner. Has the corner at the 10, at the 5, and is knocked out of bounds and around the 3. Tried to go to the pylon, couldn't get there. Don Johnson saved a touchdown, but it'll be 1st and goal for the Ramblers at the 3-yard line.
It's an interesting play where they just kind of sprint out and hand it off to Lustig, and he just runs it right around end. And Central, it's like they never saw him. Lustig is so quick around there, and they're still waiting, trying to catch up to him. Boy, he got to about the 1-yard line.
They marked him out at the 2. 1st and goal for the Ramblers, who trail in the game 7-0 with 2:15 left to play in the first quarter. Here is Staub fighting his way and comes up a little short.
Good effort by Staub, good effort by the Central defense, Gary.
Yeah, especially Ramon Kennard, Jim, who tried to hang on to Staub and did hang on to him, preventing him from getting into the end zone.
You can see right here that Central blows up the prep line, pushes them back. Staub tries to take it outside, and Kennard fights him off.
2nd and goal. You see the ball at about the 1.5-yard line.
Maybe left tackle again with, right tackle this time with Lustig.
3 men in the backfield, man in motion. Lustig is nailed as he comes to the line of scrimmage.
They had 4 guys in the backfield. That much, or 5. That's illegal. I know that.
Right. They had not enough men on the line of scrimmage is basically what you're saying. Somebody was trying to float around and find a position and was unable to do so before the snap of the football. I think this one's against the Ramblers.
They had enough people on the line of scrimmage, then they had too many men on the field because they had a straight full house backfield. They had the quarterback, they had a guy in motion.
That is the initial call by our referee tonight, and it's a 5-yard mark-off against the Ramblers. It'll be 2nd and goal from about the 7.
Very uncharacteristic mistakes. Been killing prep all year.
Illegal procedure. Only 6 men on the line. Repeat 2nd down.
2nd down and goal at the 7 with 1:39. Quick moving first quarter. Both teams keeping the ball on the ground, Jim.
Key series for Prep, I'll tell you, they'll lose their confidence.
Double tight end. Owen George wants to throw. He's rolling right. He's throwing for the end zone. Caught for a touchdown, Cathedral Prep.
Ed Serafini.
Ed Serafini, number 33, who dropped a pass that would have been a touchdown in overtime last week, hangs on to this one.
And that's a great thing. I mean, Serafini, Owen George dropped the ball right in his hands last week. This time, Ed Serafini, they don't hesitate to go back to him. Owen George looking healthy. Delivered a great pass. Serafini, great catch. I think they're going for two, Gary.
It looks like they are as Owen George brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. They now trail 7-6 with 1:26 remaining. And they're going for two. Here's the pitch back to Lustig. Cuts it back inside. Got into the end zone for the two-point conversion. With 1:26 to play here in the first quarter, the Ramblers have put it into the end zone, added the two-point conversion now, and have an 8-7 lead.
Wow, did Justin Lustig hit it up there very, very hard. But that's amazing. Prep threw only one pass, and that was for the touchdown. They go for two, and I don't know what kind of statement Minute George made there, but he made a statement like maybe I don't want overtime or I want to take control of this game and get a lead. But 7-6, go for two, and Serafini with the touchdown catch and Lustig with a touchdown run. Some serious yardage being gained on the ground this evening.
Yeah, both clubs on their last possessions have just simply run it down the field. Central a little bit more of a difficult time. They had to make them third down, but I don't think Cathedral Prep got into a third down situation on that drive, Jim.
I think you're right. I don't remember saying 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1 once. Even the touchdown was 2nd and goal.
Second and goal from the 7 after the mark off of the penalty. Eric Wilco's will tee the ball up at the 40-yard line. He is number 8 for the Ramblers as they have the lead for the first time tonight, 8-7. 1:26 remaining in the first quarter as a low line drive picked up by Farrell, and then he is tackled immediately at the 28-yard line. Going down is Matt DeRamo on the special teams to make the stop.
Gary, Prep went 56 yards in 7 plays in 2.5 minutes. Other than the touchdown pass, all on the ground.
All on the ground, too. Usually you get that quickly of a drive on a few big plays passing the football, but they did it on the ground, pretty much controlling the line of scrimmage.
We'll see what Prep does now defensively as Central obviously playing with a lot of confidence.
1:10 remaining here in the first quarter. An 8-7 lead now for the Ramblers as Central now with a stacked eye behind them. Gives it to Farrell, number 32. Puts his head and shoulders upfield and then gets drilled at the 30 for a gain of 3. Ed Serafini, who just caught the touchdown pass from Owen George offensively for Prep, comes back to make the tackle defensively.
So now Central has to answer and Prep has to regain its confidence on defense.
A game of emotion.
One of Prep's greatest coaches on hand tonight from Florida, Tom Duff, being inducted into the Prep Hall of Fame. That was in my school days, Gary, a legend in his time, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I bet, after reading his resume. And he'll be on at halftime with us, as a matter of fact. Second down, 8 yards to go, down to under 25 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Out of the I formation, Troop, 3-step drop, flings it down the field, and is incomplete, batted up in the air, intended for Radishevsky. But somebody made a nice defensive play, knocking the ball out.
Gary Ellis, Irvin, and Lustig all read that pass. They all took a shot at the interception. If it hadn't been overthrown, 3 guys had an opportunity to pick it up.
DeRamo, number 2, was back there trying to perhaps catch the deflection, but he was not within range. Stops the clock with 16 seconds. Third down, 8 yards to go. As Central will send DeFelice in the slot, and he's the man in motion. Troop, straight drop back. Looks, steps up in the pocket, flings it down the sideline over everybody's head, incomplete. And with 11 seconds to play, it'll be 4th down. Eugene Crosby putting some pressure on Jerry Troop as he flung that pass towards the sideline, well out of the hands of the out of the hands of the receiver.
Crosby putting some pressure on Troop's body at the end of that pass. Here's where Central has had some trouble.
Yes, they have.
And Prep's going to go for the block.
DeFelice back in punt formation. Low snap. Gets the punt away. It's a low punt, bouncing at the 40. Lustig will pick it up at the 34. Cuts back the other way to avoid a tackle. Spins away from 1, and they've got him down at the 41-yard line. That was the end of the first quarter. 8-7 in favor of the Ramblers. We'll be right back.
What can we offer you at Jamestown Mattress? Just take a look.
questions?
Jamestown Mattress, 2411 West 12th Street, your hometown sit and sleep shop.
Clarion University. Our students are meeting challenges in the classroom, on the field of play, on the stage, and in real-world settings. With personal attention from the faculty, they are preparing for challenging careers in some of the fastest-growing occupations. Clarion University, meeting the challenge for our students, for our communities, for our future.
The Sports Section. The nation's leader in youth sports photography. The Sports Section. Unique, creative, and collectible. The Sports Make Section. Your team season truly memorable. Call Scott Kuhn at 825-8344. The Sports Section.
Did you know that the average car engine can generate enough heat to warm a 6-room house? If winter driving is a chilling experience for you, it's time to visit Canfield Radiator at 18th and State. Serving our community for over 40 years, the Canfield professionals will analyze, explain, and correct your car's heating or radiator problem. Drive in comfort this winter. Visit the experts at Canfield Radiator, Erie's oldest and largest heater radiator specialists.
For a complete in-depth analysis of tonight's game and all the hot sporting action around the region and the nation, read the Saturday Weekender. Home delivered, the Weekender is all you need to keep up with the times.
Tonight's dinner for the WSEE staff and crew was provided by Subway on Buffalo Road in the Kmart Plaza, owned by Pam and Bill Kane.
Gary Drapcho with Jim LaCorchick back here for the second quarter. The Ramblers will start this quarter at their own 41-yard line, 1st and 10, leading in the football game 8-7. Justin Lustig has been the main weapon for the Ramblers, and he has the football again and is tripped up nicely as he comes across the 40 back to the line of scrimmage. Farrell makes the stop, Eric Farrell. And one of the few times that the Ramblers have not been able to pick up positive yardage on first down, Jim.
Yeah, usually they're looking at 2nd and 4. 2nd and 6 has been about their worst-case scenario all evening. Ramon Ellis comes out, their flanker.
Maybe a passing situation. Owen George, the only touchdown of the game, although a majority of the yards in total yardage has been on the ground. The touchdown score, George to Serafini passing. Drops straight back to pass, gives it to Lustig on the draw, trying to find the corner at the 40, and then is hit and bounced out at the 43-yard line. Donnie Johnson comes up to make the stop and bounce Lustig out of bounds after a 2-yard gain, 3rd down and about 8.
Gary, that was an interesting defensive move by Central. They made no penetration. They read draw all the way, and they let Lustig come to them.
Ramon Ellis into the game. He has been a favorite target of quarterback Owen George this season. We're just underway, second quarter. 8-7 in favor of the Ramblers. George, 3-step drop, flings it out to the right. Ellis has it, spins away from a tackle, has a first down, or does he? He's close to it as he is knocked out in midfield by Eric DeFelice.
One-on-one coverage, and Ellis just doing a good move, making a good move to pick up the final 3 or 4 yards to set up a measurement. You'll see right here just a quick drop. George looks out to Ellis. Ellis, athletic ability, one-on-one, breaks the first tackle, picks up an extra 5 yards.
By the way, Dr. Lawrence Pettit of IUP has joined us here in the booth. We'll be talking to him. Big game with Edinburgh tomorrow. We'll talk about that as well. Why don't we give him the mic right now? Dr. Pettit, thank you for joining us as they measure for the first down. What about the Indians' chances against the Scots tomorrow?
It's going to be a very close game. I think we ought to take them, but they'll give us a good game. We're ranked 7th nationally. They're ranked 12th, and they have, I understand, the best team they've had in years. And we're kind of on a roll, and so are they. So it ought to be
on a roll. I mean, you guys are in that position almost every year down there. You're always playing Edinburgh for the PSAC West Championship.
That's right. That's right. It's a good thing we have them.
All right, stay with us here. We'll be asking you questions between plays. Jim, 4th down and about 1. What is Minute George going to do here?
I don't know. Everybody in the world knows they like the quarterback sneak. You know, now last week, I don't know if it was the rain or Owen George's injured thumb. They had several bobbled snaps. They're going to call a timeout right now. Minute George did not like the looks of this defense Central sent out there.
He will take a timeout, and so will we. 8-7 in favor of the Ramblers. We'll be right back.
Wait, here's the Giant Eagle Advantage card. How can one piece of plastic be so fantastic? Don't need those others, no. Our Advantage card makes what was hard as simple as C5-O.
She loves some chicken.
I'll go flower picking. I've got the video.
I I can pay with a check. Only takes a sec.
And it's as simple as these 5 volts. We're as simple as these 5 volts. Giant Eagle.
When the weather's this bad, you need a truck that's this good. Dodge Ram. It can be equipped with power from a full line of Magnum engines. Available shift-on-fly 4-wheel drive. And other features that make even our toughest winter a lot more tolerable. If you still find it tough getting through it all, this'll help. The 230 horsepower Dodge Ram and a Meyer plow. Check them out at your local Dodge dealer.
All right, it looks like Minna George has elected to go for it. 4th down, less than a yard at the 50. George with the snap, straight ahead give, barreling forward, trying to move the pile, and does.
Is this rugby?
It looked like rugby, the scrum, as they call it. I couldn't quite see who received the handoff inside.
Nobody.
I didn't see anybody get up off the bottom of the pile.
They just put the ball and everybody just started pushing.
That's Cesar Montevecchio. He's the center.
Oh, boy, that hurts.
Right.
He was injured in that Buffalo game we had out at McDowell's Gus Anderson Field. His father, a great, great athlete at prep. Here you'll see the play, and they just needed inches, and I don't know who the ball carrier was, but he got a lot of help from his friends.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's
Mark
the
Lockett,
pitch back
Gary.
to Lockett, back in the game, and look at him go down the sideline before he's finally banged out. He adds just so much to this Cathedral Prep offense, a good gain of about 13 yards.
Speaking of that Buffalo game, Montevecchio got hurt. This is Lockett's first appearance. He's at the tailback, one of the fastest sprinters in the state, Gary.
Dr. Pettit of IUP, the distance learning project between Bell Valley Elementary School and Mill Creek Township, an important thing, right?
Yeah, that's an exciting partnership that IUP has with the Mill Creek School District. It's a two-way television interactive process so that our students and faculty can interact with faculty and students at the school. Right now we're at Bell Valley.
Right.
We'll move over to Walnut Creek and then up to McDowell High School before the year's over.
That is tremendous, and obviously Jim LaCourte would like one of those two-way hookups maybe to Minna George down on the field to help him coach.
I'm looking for 3 credits just to get on the board from any place.
Here is Lockett again, shakes a tackle to the outside, tries to get to the outside at the 30, and then is driven out at the 27-yard line. He'll bill about 3 yards short of the 1st down. But when Lockett is healthy, Jim LaCourte, he has got the speed to be a real game breaker, doesn't he?
Right there, Gary. Looked like he's going to get hit in the backfield and just literally pulled away from everybody. Here it is, Lockett. There he is, hit in the backfield. It doesn't look like much, but instead of a 2-yard loss, it's a 4-yard gain.
And as you look at it again, I'm going to ask Dr. Pettit about the distance learning project that includes a basketball coaches clinic to be done on two-way interactive video.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably a first in the nation, where we're going to do a basketball clinic by two-way television, interactive television. And Kurt Kanaski, our very successful coach at IUP, is going to be conducting that.
Always gives Gannon some battles, doesn't he, Jim? The Indians of IUP.
Every once in a while, Gannon gives them a battle.
Here are the first quarter stats, and they appear to be in favor of the Ramblers, but they only lead by a point going in.
Yeah, that turnover hurt them deeply. Prep 5 first downs of 4. Folks, that's 100 yards the first quarter of rushing, 100 to 57. Passing yards, 8 to 7 Central, 107-65. Turnovers, 1 for Prep. Time of possession, Central 6:17 to 5:43.
Besides Kurt Kanaski, the head coach at IUP, Pete Flynn, who's the coach out of McDowell, will be joining it, and coaches from the Erie area are going to attend that. Should be pretty interesting, right?
That's right. It ought to really be exciting. Yeah. I don't know that anyone's ever done that before.
I have never heard of anything like that. 3rd down and 2, straight ahead give to Staub, and he tries to barrel his way for the first down at the 25. If they give him his forward progress, it is a first down. It looks like referee Mel Witherspoon will do that, and it's a first down for the Ramblers at the 24-yard line. Are you enjoying your stay in Erie?
I love it. Yeah, it's a great place. We have a lot of friends up here. A lot of students from here, a lot of alumni.
And we appreciate all of your support on our Game of the Week. You have been with us for the past 2 years. As you see, the Ramblers barely getting that first down, but we appreciate all the support. The Game of the Week has been well received in all circles, and we really appreciate your support.
Very good. We're glad to do it.
Thank you, Dr. Pettit, for joining us here tonight.
You bet, Gary. Thanks.
1st and 10 for the Ramblers at the 25-yard line as they try to drive towards another score. They lead 8-7. George with a fake pitch back to throw. He's going to throw it for the end zone. It comes up short and knocked away by Don Johnson. And Owen George got popped by Chantel Mathis as soon as he released the football, which is probably the reason, Jim LaCourting, that it came up a little bit short.
They had the coverage. They won. They give a little look in for Ellis. Then he took off. And right here, Ellis is breaking loose. But while Ellis is getting behind the defender, Mathis was getting behind a blocker. You'll see Mathis coming in. Nobody picked him up, and I mean, he had his head right in the stomach of Owen George. They had it set up, though, Gary.
2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line. 9.5 minutes to play, second quarter. The Ramblers hanging on to a 1-point lead. Pitch back to Lustig. Lustig trying to turn the corner, cut it back inside, slipped and fell. The ball is loose. Did they say that was a loose football?
No.
They did. Central has it at the 24-yard line. I thought the ground caused the fumble.
We'll look on the replay, unless it was loose coming down, but it appeared the ball, his knee was on the ground.
Really can't tell whether or not it happened. Let's look at it again from this angle. Can't tell. I thought he was down. I still say the ground caused the fumble. Second turnover, both of them coming for the Ramblers as they were driving the football inside the Central 30. So 2 costly turnovers. They still lead by 1 as Farrell bulls his way in for 3 out to the 27-yard line. One other thing about IUP, the big band competition is coming up this Saturday, IUP. Right here at Veterans Stadium, IUP will be part of that. Their band will be up here as part of that competition. Great band, too. I always see them against Edinburgh. Let's see the fumble again here and see if Justin Lustig was down or not.
It's hard to imagine the ball was coming out before he was down.
2nd down, 7. Option play by Troop. Gets it to Owens. Owens turns on the speed. A flag is thrown as he gets out to the 33. That is about a yard short of the first down. Let's check out the flag. Matt DeRamo makes the stop on the play. By the way, Central's reacting, and the indication is holding against them.
They ran the option well, though, Gary. Prep had no help on the outside pitch man at all.
That will move the Falcons back. Prep was driving after receiving the opening kickoff, fumbled it away. Central then took the football down the field and scored on a run by a 2 Troop. And after the layered extra point, 7-0, the Ramblers then came right back, drove the ball down the field, scored on a 7-yard pass from George to Serafini. Here's the call from the official.
We got holding on the offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
And we will do that. The Ramblers added the 2-point conversion, Jim, and that's how they lead at 8-7. Lustig running it in on the 2-point conversion.
Gary, Troop looks a little more comfortable with the screen pass, the swing pass, rather than anything deep. Wrap around draw didn't fool anybody.
Didn't get anywhere and lost all the way back to the 10-yard line. Eugene Crosby, one of about 5 or 6, along with Jason Larson of the Ramblers, who read that.
You'll see a host of Prep Ramblers not biting on this wraparound draw at all. They were keying in on Lamar Owens. Don't put a quick kick or anything past Joe Tarasovich deep in his own territory.
Did that against McDowell last week. So at the 10, it is about 3rd down and yes, very long. we stopped counting. It's just very long. Actually, they need to get near the 35 for a 1st down.
Quick kick, Gary.
Yeah, they've got DeFelice back there. He's the man that does it, and he does. Kick way short, though. It's going to bounce near the 35, and Central will down it there. So the Ramblers lead 8-7 with 7:21 to play in the second quarter, and they have an 8-7 lead. All right, Jim, it is our time again to look across the field. We haven't had it for a few weeks because we've been out of McDowell. It is Carpet Craftsman.
I feel like I'm home, Gary. You know that you can get indoor-outdoor carpet from $4.95 a square yard to beautiful prints imported from England and everything in between, backed by the best installation guarantee in the business. Carpet Craftsman, 27th and French, across from Vet Stadium.
Here is Lustig running to the outside, has the corner at the 30, at the 25, and has a 1st down at the 24-yard line. Justin Lustig with the nice run and a gain of about 11 as they give him forward progress all the way to the 24-yard line. That's 1 yard needed, more than needed. Art Farrell makes the stop.
Gary, watch the end of the play right here. Ramon Ellis holds his block for a good 3 or 4 seconds, and Lustig took advantage of it. It didn't look like much, but he cut behind him for the last 3 or 4 yards. Good block by the wide receiver, Ramon Ellis.
7 minutes remaining, second quarter. Ramblers trying to build on an 8-7 lead in what was expected to be a very competitive football game. It's turned out to be exactly that. Pitch to Lustig. Turns the corner. Now cuts it back inside. Has one guy hanging all over him as he gets a good 8 yards to the 17-yard line. A two-troop makes the tackle.
Boy, Lustig just picking the ball off and making his cuts, going full speed as soon as he catches the ball. George delivers it. Lustig grabs it right here. He's reading the blocks all the way. Gets a good block from the right side of the Prep offensive line. Gains good yardage. There it is right there. There's the good block, and there's Lustig getting the extra 5 yards after his first hit.
Yeah, Farrell also in on the tackle. A two-troop was the man just hanging on. But it's a gain of 8 and second down and 2. 17-yard line. George, Lustig. Lustig met, slips by the tackle, gets enough forward progress going to get the first down inside the 15 to the 13. Steve Masson and a two-troop in on the tackle, but it's a first down. The sticks are moved, and at the 13-yard line, the Ramblers are working again.
Prep leading 8-7 with what, Gary? 6:15 left in the half.
Brown Equipment is providing our sideline shots for John Deere's lawn and small farm equipment. Depend on their 22 years of experience and John Deere dependability. Westlaw Road in Northeast. Straight ahead give to Lustig.
Fumble, Gary.
Fumble on the play, and Central has got it. For the third time in the first half, the Ramblers have fumbled deep in Central territory. It looked like Eric DeFelice came out of there with it.
Again, Justin Lustig reading the hole, doing a nice job. Central going for the ball. You'll see Lustig reading it to the left, breaking 2 tackles, and really just losing the ball as he went down this time. 3 fumbles.
It looked like
Lustig
number
from
31,
behind.
Number 31 from behind, Chantel Mathis, may have knocked the ball loose. DeFelice did cover up on it, but for the third time, the Ramblers fumbled deep in Central territory. It remains an 8-7 game. They're backed up at their own 5. They're going to be backed up at their own 2.
Central's got to throw the ball, Gary, now. Prep is committed to stopping the run.
Stopping Lamar Owens. A 3-yard loss on that play. Ryan Irvin led the way. Eugene Crosby was also there, as well as Brian Bates.
Lustig has 18 rushes for 100 yards. But Joe Tarasovich, I don't care where the field position is, he's got to get the ball in the hands of Eric DeFelice on the long ball, or at least hitting Owens coming out of the backfield. They're not making it right now, running up the middle.
Yeah, got to spread it out a little bit. They're starting to pinch on him. Good 6 or 7, 8 men at the line of scrimmage. Here's the pitch to Owens. Owens, rather than cuts it to the corner, turns it back inside, gets back to the 5-yard line, which was the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 at your own 5 is what the Falcons face.
Joe Tarasovich may not want to put the ball up. I don't think he's real confident right now. But I don't know what you do, Gary. You got to get the ball to Lamar Owens with a little running room. He just doesn't have the room right now.
4.5 minutes remaining. This entire second quarter has been played on this side of the 50-yard line. The Ramblers have fumbled it away 3 times in this game. Their opening possession inside the 30, and then 2 possessions, one inside the 30 and once at the 5. Back to throw. Troop in some trouble. Will roll right. Will fling it way downfield. Has a man out there if he can get it to him, and it's incomplete. No flag. Incomplete.
That would have been one of the greatest catches in the history of the stadium. Jeff Radishevsky was behind Ramon Ellis, and I'll tell you what, Troop threw it about 60 yards in the air, rolling to his left.
Throw, yes, indeed. If there's anything out of that, Jerry Troop rolling left, heaved it up there. Watch where he goes. Goal line.
I think Ellis is thinking, listen, he can't throw it that far.
All the way to the other 45, 55 yards in the air, and he wasn't even really set when he threw the football.
Well, timeout Central, I believe.
Central wants to take a timeout. 4th down and 10 at the 5-yard line. We'll take a break, too. 8-7 in favor of the Ramblers.
Open the door to variety, to value, to convenience. Hey, we know you're in a hurry. Shop smart. Shop PennSmart.
Crunchy. Soft, crunchy, soft.
Why are the 2 biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they could have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the nacho cheese double-decker taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
4 minutes and 13 seconds. Central has had some problems punting so far tonight, Jim.
So far in the last year and a half or 2 years, Gary, Joe Tarasovich took a timeout to settle his team down. And he's going to take the safety.
They're going to take a safety. That is one thing I cannot believe. This early in the game, I mean, there's 4:07 left in the second quarter. DeFelice taking the snap from center, backed up in his own end zone, runs out of the end zone. And a safety will make it a 10-7 game in favor of the Ramblers.
Did I ever tell you I was at a loss for words? I'm at a loss for words.
If that puts you at a loss for words, that is a first.
I'm in total
actually,
shock.
That is the last thing I expected as well.
Gary, I'm going to tell you what. They're going to punt the ball from their own 20. Prep's going to get the ball near midfield. So I think you gave up 2 points maybe to gain 20 yards. I'm not too sure that's a real good idea.
It keeps it a 3-point game. When you have Laird as your kicker, I guess there is some logic to that. But I'll be honest with you, that is the last thing I expected. With 4 minutes and 7 seconds to play in the second quarter. And now they'll be kicking off from their own 20.
Gary, if you're so worried about Prep scoring, and they do score, you're going to be down 15-7. I mean, if they score now, it's 7. I don't know. I'm puzzled, but then that's why I'm up here.
All right, Coach.
I was lucky to find the stadium tonight.
I still like the nickname Coach Lakorchik. I like that. Bouncing ball off the foot of Laird, picked up by Lustig. He's across midfield. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. The 25-20. Justin Lustig at the 10. The 5. Did he get in? At the 1-yard line, he's out of bounds. Justin Lustig nearly took it the distance. And the move by Joe Tarasovich to take the safety has backfired on him. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Ramblers at the 1-yard line. That is the last thing they wanted. I can't believe this.
I don't understand the whole scenario, but I understand Justin Lustig getting the kickoff. That I understand, because that kid can fly. But I don't give you 2 points. Here it is. He looks it. He's on the right side of the field. Great blocking up the middle and takes it to the left.
1st and goal. Owen George straight ahead. They stood him up at the goal line. Did he break the plane? Apparently not.
Boy, he moved forward, and he only had to go 3 inches.
They're digging down in that pile, and they mark it just short of the goal line. 2nd down and goal. 3:40 remaining, first half.
I'd say I'm sorry, Gary, but I think Justin Lustig deserves to score this touchdown.
Absolutely. Certainly made up for those 2 fumbles that he has had in this first half by nearly running back that kickoff 60 yards. Look how close that ball is to the end zone. 2nd and goal.
Other than it's over.
Straight ahead, Gibbs Staub, and this time he barrels in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Ramblers, with 3:15 to play in the first half.
I thought the officials thought the soccer goal was the goal line.
It took them a while. I mean, we could see it up here in the press box. Apparently, down on the field, it took a little bit of time to figure out what was going on. But it is a touchdown. Staub barrels in from a yard out, or actually about an inch out. And it's now a 16-7 game. And what a swing here with the safety taken by Central, and then the kickoff nearly run back by Lustig, setting up the touchdown. Extra point by Spry is up and good. Check that, by Wilco's is up and good. And we'll keep it right here as the Ramblers take a 17-7 lead with 3:15 to play in the first half.
You know, also, Gary, after that safety, it's not like Central had really been stopping the Prep offense. The Prep offense had been stopping itself. Here you can see Staub barrel into the end zone, and the officials going down to the bottom of the pile to find out where he's at. But now it's a 2-possession game, Gary.
Yeah, I can't believe. We'll talk more about that. Here's what Coach Joe Tarasovich had to say going into tonight's game about the Ramblers.
These are Prep. It's a big motivating factor. They're a very good football program. It's a pride game for us. We'd like to perform well. Defensively, we've played very well in the last 3-4 games. We just got to find a way to get the offense going a little bit. We're making a lot of mental mistakes with penalties and a lot of physical mistakes by handling the ball to the other team, fumbling, interceptions. We have to figure a way to stop doing that.
Well, apparently one of the mistakes was in this last change of possessions, if you will, Jim. Still baffles me when I think about it. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while.
If the punt blocked and you kick the extra point, it's 15-7. You're still in there.
Don Johnson returning the kick, gets it out to the 30. Central with 3:10 remaining here in the first half will have the football at their own 30. And leading by a 17-7 score are the Ramblers of Cathedral Prep.
You'll see Mark Burns and Tony Bowers come down on the tackle. They made the good tackle.
Don't forget about the Miller Genuine Draft $20,000 shootout bowling show. We had such a successful bowling show last year that beginning in September or in December, Saturdays at 7, we'll be doing it again, but this time we've got some cash. We'll tell you more about that. Here's Jerry Troop back to throw. Eugene Crosby chasing him. Flag is down. Troop will run and dives forward for what appears to be a first down across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Matt Patterson was ankle tackling Troop as he dove for that first down. He'll get credited for the tackle, but it may all be brought back by the penalty.
Gary, Crosby appeared to break through and kind of was grabbed from behind. I think Jason Larson, he thought he was being held. This inexperience on the Central offensive line kind of showing right now, Gary, is Prep's making pretty good penetration. Troop made a good athletic move here. Crosby coming from the right side of your screen had just gotten through there, and then the flag came down. But a nice run by Troop. I think you got to use Troop around the end. You got to use Owens around the end. You have Owens throw the ball. Going up the middle and off tackle is not going to work anymore.
Not going to work against the Ramblers. Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, repeat. First down.
So we had an 8-7 lead for the Ramblers. Central was backed up 4th down at their own 5. Took a safety when DeFelice received the snap and went out of the end zone. They then punted from the 20 or kicked off. Justin Lusson took it all the way back down to the 1 and then scored on a 1-yard run. Did Staub as a straight-ahead give to Owens, who stumbles forward from the 20, and you're not going to do too much on that play.
You know what else is odd, Gary? Maybe not in high school, but most of the times after a safety, you'll see the team punt the ball and get some good coverage. They kicked it off and they kicked a line drive kick.
So a very odd turn of events here in the second quarter has squarely put this game in the hands of the Ramblers, who have scored 17 unanswered points. Central scored the first touchdown of the game on their first possession. It came after recovering a Cathedral Prep fumble when the Ramblers were driving. And with 2 minutes to go here in the first half, Jerry Troop will go back to throw. He's got Sack all over him, and he drills him and nails him at the 10-yard line. Jake Sack, unabated to the quarterback, nails him.
If I'm Prep, I call a timeout now, and if I'm Joe Tarasovich, I try and let the clock run.
Watch number 24,
Oh,
Jim.
Clean shot, Gary. Clean shot all the way.
Down to 1:35 and counting. Ramblers letting that clock run. Central's going to take their time. They don't want to give it to Cathedral Prep. They have 3rd and 30 as Ken Nixon missed the block on the play that allowed Sack just a barrel room to go in there and nail him. And now they're going to take a delay of game penalty. They stopped the clock with 1:18. No delay of game. Apparently,
no,
equipment failure. So Central's going to huddle back up again. They're going to start the clock again, and now Central's going to have more time to kill off the clock as they restart the clock. It's down to 1:12, 1:11.
Started at 1:45.
Troop on 3rd and 30. Owens. The pursuit is there, and down he goes at the 12. Matt DeRamo led the pursuit. Now the Ramblers are trying to call a timeout. A flag was thrown on the play as well. 57 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what the flag is. Jason Larson, number 34. Jake Sack, number 24, all in on the tackle.
All right, you can see Owens trying to fight for all the yardage that he can get. Now we got to wait and see what the penalty is. Minute George said decline it, so obviously against the Falcons.
Do you have the feeling this game was moving along rather routinely, and then all of a sudden it's like something was in the air?
Or sensibly.
It took a very odd turn of
Personal
events.
foul on the offense. Penalty refused. 4th down.
Central making some errors that you don't make with veteran kids. They got some young players in there. Now you'll see Justin Lustig again get a chance to do what he does best, and that's return kicks.
And it looks like he'll be receiving this kick inside the 50 in Central territory. DeFelice about 3 yards deep in his own end zone to receive the snap.
Gary Prep.
Oh, they're going after it.
Prep
Nearly
had called
block
a
it.
timeout, and they started the clock.
Lustig bobbles but hangs on. He had called a fair catch at the 40. And so with 45 seconds remaining, Cathedral Prep will have a 1st and 10.
The official started the clock, and it was a timeout.
Something is in the air here all of a sudden. About midway through the second quarter on.
Yeah, it started.
This game has taken a loony turn of events.
Once we showed Carpet Craftsman, everybody started looking at it. Nobody's focused on the field.
All right, let's see if the Ramblers can add to their 17-7 lead. They give it to Ramon Ellis. He's got some room. 40, 35, 30. Breaks a tackle, then slips and falls at the 26-yard line. But that's well enough for a first down. He gained about 15 yards on the play. Ramon Kennard knocked his feet out from under him.
Was that play ever set up? Now, Min is telling him to hustle up, but he got out of bounds.
Referees will be marking the football. Clock is stopped while they do that. There are 35 seconds remaining.
Clock stopped because he went out of bounds.
And the referee starts the clock again. Owen George takes the snap. 3-step drop. Flings it for the end zone. Flinging for Ellis. Can't hit him, incomplete. Just overthrew the lob pattern. Don Johnson defending on the play. As they tried that little flare down the sideline, Ellis had a step on Johnson, but the ball was just overthrown.
George did the best thing. He gave him plenty of opportunity to run under it. Aired the ball out quite nicely, so it was either going to be Ellis or nobody.
Winner of this game moves on to the District 10 playoffs into the semifinals. They will face Meadville at General McLean High School next Thursday night at 7:30 here on the turf at the stadium. McDowell will play Warren. McDowell's trying to end their season at Altoona tonight. And George back to throw, 2nd and 10. Looking. Comes up in the pocket. Has some room to run at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. Did he get in? No. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 2.
And Owen George is slow getting up. He's just disappointed. Boy, did he show some quickness there,
yes,
Gary.
Did.
Holy man.
He scooted out of the pocket, outran a couple of Central defenders, and almost was able to dive into the end zone. They marked him out at the 4. They say that is where he stepped out of bounds, but look at it again.
This is all Owen George. The whole field opens up like the Grand Canyon. He cuts it outside and shows some great quickness here getting by Kennard and tries to dive in the end zone. The official said he stepped out on the 4. Now, they're going to have 2 or 3 plays called right in the huddle.
All right, here it is, 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line. Pitch back to Lustig. He's got the corner to himself. Touchdown Prep. Justin Lustig had the corner on the pitch, and the Ramblers, with 12 seconds, have blown this one open. In this second quarter, they have now scored 23 unanswered points.
Yep, I'll tell you, Justin Lustig was not going to be denied.
There was 4 minutes left to play, 4:07 to be exact, Jim LaCourcic, and the Ramblers had an 8-7 lead, and that is when Central took an automatic safety. And my goodness, they have turned this into a rout, and it's almost halftime. 23-7, 12 seconds to play. Eric Wilco's will be in to try the extra point. He is 3 of 3 on the night. Now check that, 2 of 2. They had a 2-point conversion after their first touchdown.
All right, 2 of 2. Gary, some terrible breakdowns by Central. Penalties, bonehead plays.
Yeah, it's been the story of their season. Wilco's drills it, and it's good. 24-7 with 12 seconds to play here in the first quarter of play. In the first half of play, I should say. 24-7 in favor of the Ramblers. By the way, here is what Coach Minna George had to say about his team going into their game tonight as they got ready for the Falcon of Central.
1-game playoff. If we win, we keep going, and if we lose, we're out. So it might put a little pressure on them, but also add some excitement to the kids knowing that they got something to shoot for, and that's to beat Central in the season, the regular season, on a positive note, and then get into the playoffs. So as much as it puts a little pressure on, I think it takes a lot off and lets them go play a football game.
Gary, you got to be happy for Minna George. His son is a good quarterback, and his son has played an outstanding senior season for him, and that's got to make Minna happy. That's important to him. He and Owen have a very close relationship, and I'll tell you, Owen George looked very athletic on that last run that he had.
Yes, he did. It has increased the Ramblers' lead to 24-7. And Eric Wilco's will tee it up and kick it off again. They have scored 24 unanswered points. Onside kick attempt is taken by Ramon Ellis. He grabs it at the 38-yard line. They'll only have 11 seconds to work with.
They got to line up and
at least get a shot at the end zone.
Knock the ball, maybe stop the clock right away.
Not only was that a nice play by Ellis, but what a kick by Wilkos. I mean, he drilled it into the ground like you're supposed to and got the high hop out of it. Here we go. Clock is stopped. 10 seconds to play. Now it starts. Owen George back to throw. Flings it down the sideline. There is Ellis. Did he catch it?
No.
He said he caught it, but he was out of bounds. He did catch it, but he was out of bounds. Eric DeFelice, Don Johnson defending on the play. Actually, that was a beautiful catch. Unfortunately, he was out of bounds, Jim.
Yeah, plus I think he dropped it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He said he caught it. I believed him.
That's right. He wouldn't lie. He's a senior. You can see, again, George getting good air under the ball. And
yeah, I think
Ellis,
he did drop it. You're right, yes.
Ellis, so it's laying here. I may as well hold it up.
All right, 2 seconds remaining. Still time for one more play.
Draw.
Here it comes, Lustig. 35. They'll stop him, and that'll be the end of the first half. But what a first half. Especially the last 4 minutes for the Ramblers here in the first half. They have built a 24-7 lead. Our halftime activities in just a moment. Stay with us.
There are many new car introductions.
You're simply the best.
But the best one is at your Toyota dealer.
Better than all the rest.
The 1996 Toyotas are here with introductory deals on new Corollas. Save hundreds or get a special introductory lease with only $500 down and just $189 per month. Get a new Corolla. Now's the time because it's not just any introduction, it's the best one. At your Toyota dealer now.
The sign says it all. Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards. Whether you're looking for an unbelievable selection of tantalizing food or one of the best spots in Erie to relax, shoot a couple games of pool or watch your favorite game on one of 13 TV screens, the place to go is Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards. Just look for the giant sign on the corner of Peach and Liberty. Andy's Pub and Gold Crown Billiards, where food and fun is the program.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania is big enough to provide the best and small enough to make you feel at home. Smart students choose IUP because it offers the academic resources of a doctoral university, the only state-owned university in Pennsylvania to do so, and it has the learning environment of a small liberal arts college. IUP maintains outstanding academic programs in over 100 fields and has one of Pennsylvania's largest student intern programs. Academics, sports, entertainment, all in one of the 5 safest campus environments in America. IUP, the smallest big university in Pennsylvania.
Mark Stebnowski being honored here tonight, and some of those responsible for his picture being on the Wall of Fame here at the stadium. Tim Pearson, Mel Witherspoon. Tell me your role in this, Tim.
Well, I sponsored the resolution, Gary, to have the likeness and mural placed on the wall to honor Mark this evening. I'm certainly glad as a member of the Erie School Board to be here and recognizing Mark and his accomplishments academically and athletically.
Yeah, he's wonderful. And Mel, what about the Stadium Commission?
Well, as vice chairman of the Stadium Commission, once that was passed by the board, we were more than happy to sanction it and give them the permission to put the mural on there. Really, what's most important, that it was a community activity and there was no cost to the taxpayers at all. It was donated by individuals that knew Mark when he was here.
Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Stebnowski are here as well. Of course, Mark is playing for the Houston Oilers. Obviously, you have to be proud, and yet another accomplishment of your son, and right here in the hometown.
Well, it is quite an honor, and on behalf of Mark, we'd like to thank everyone who's responsible for doing this for us tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Stebnowski?
I'd just like to thank you for Mark, and it is a personal honor for us and him as well.
And maybe we'll see him up here very soon.
Oh, hope so.
Yeah, we hope so. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Stebnowski, Tim, Mel, thank you very much for joining us here at halftime. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
As an UBC graduate, I feel confident when I tell students that they'll be receiving the best business education available to establish the credentials needed for a meaningful career.
I like the 2-year courses, and I actually get to apply my education to my internship program offered through the Erie Business Center. I really like the way my life is going now, and that direction is up.
Erie Business Center, where business careers begin. EBC.
Only from the mind of Minolta. Introducing the Watchdog Copier, Minolta's revolutionary CS Pro series. Hidden electronic watchdogs guard against misfeeding and miscopying.
Good watchdog.
It 3-hole punches inside the machine.
Nice watchdog.
So intelligent, it calls for service by itself.
Smart watchdog.
It's touching how people care for their Watchdog Copier.
Your business's best friend and watchdog. Kabinski Business Machines, 4525 West Ridge Road.
Back here at halftime, it is Hall of Fame weekend at Cathedral Prep. We have a couple of the Hall of Famers here, along with our broadcast partner, Jim LaCourchick. Tom Duff, well, thank you for joining us. What kind of a weekend is it for you, and how do you feel about being inducted into the Prep Hall?
Oh, it's a great honor, and so far everything has been just great. Trip down and everything up to this point.
What do you remember the most about your days at Cathedral Prep?
The number of games we won.
And I think that is the tradition that Cathedral Prep has. Most coaches are asked to do that. You were one that performed as well.
We had some good kids, some great coaches, and obviously we did very well.
Jim?
I had the pleasure of going to Prep when Tom Duff was there. He is the greatest, a great person. And Bill Carey, Bill, I don't think many people know this. I always said this is the closest I'll get to the Prep Hall of Fame, unless they go alphabetically. Bill, not many people know this. How long did you go to Prep?
I only went to Prep a year and a half.
And got in the Hall of Fame. Did you feel any pressure coming in to perform? Obviously, you didn't feel too much.
Well, I tell you, when I got the letter, I was just overwhelmed. So many great athletes have gone through Prep, and the tradition is so great. And I'm honored to be here, and I'm having a great time so far.
Bill, with your roots in Erie, though, Gannon and Prep, I know everybody's proud of you. I want to congratulate you and Coach Duff.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Bill and Tom. A great weekend for anybody involved with Cathedral Prep. It's their Hall of Fame weekend. These are two of the inductees. We'll be back with more at halftime in just a moment.
And good evening, I'm Drew Sugars from the Newswatch 35 newsroom. Here are some of the stories the Night Beat crew is working on. Authorities have identified the man accused of opening fire on his fellow soldiers at Fort Bragg, North Carolina this morning. Investigators are questioning a sergeant from Washington, D.C. about the killing of one man and wounding of 18 others. Maisie Smith Purdue's re-election campaign could be in trouble. The Erie School Board member may have broken the law while looking for votes. And the National Weather Station in Erie gets a stay of execution. We'll tell you why it will stay open for at least 2 more years. And Evan will also be here to explain why the Newswatch 35 weather station could fill the gap either way. And an extended sports watch will follow it all. Join Rich and me tonight at 11 on the Night Beat. Gary and Jim will be back in a moment with more action between Prep and Central in the game of the week.
One Cathedral Prep success story is that of Tibor Solomozzi. Tibor was a stocky running back in the 70s who led the league in rushing during his junior year. The hustling Hungarian carried his success to Allegheny, where he was a 2-time All-American who led the league in rushing for 2 straight seasons. Now an Erie attorney, Tibor is one of Prep's proud alumni.
This Prep Flashback has been brought to you by Beals McMahon Painting. Just as Cathedral Prep is committed to excellence, Beals McMahon brings you the best in professional painting.
Clarion University. Our students are meeting challenges in the classroom, on the field of play, on the stage, and in real-world settings. With personal attention from the faculty, they are preparing for challenging careers in some of the fastest-growing occupations. Clarion University, meeting the challenge for our students, for our communities, for our future.
The Breeders' Cup, Thoroughbred Racing's $10 million championship, will be run on Saturday, October 28th, and you can be part of it. Get in on the action of 7 championship races and also play the $1 Pick 7. The Breeders' Cup, live via satellite. Don't miss it.
Come out to the Downs at Erie and bet on the Breeders' Cup Championship and the $1 Pick 7. Gates open at 10 a.m.
Hammett Sports Medicine presents Training Room Tips.
How do athletes come back from sports ligament injuries? With advanced sports bracing devices. Instability in the ankles or knees requires the extra support of bracing to retain stability and help prevent injuries from reoccurring. If an athlete has had ligament surgery, a brace is prescribed to help protect the joint during practice and competitive play. Sports bracing, it's often the way to get back into the game. I'm Pete Grimaldi for Hammett Sports Medicine.
The Halftime Report featuring the Academic League team is brought to you by Giant Eagle. It takes a giant to make life simple.
The Academic Sports League also joins us here at halftime with Fairview principal
Larry Kessler.
And Larry, tell us something about your team.
Well, we're very proud of our Fairview team. This will be the second year we'll be in competition in the Academic Sports League here in Erie. And last year we placed second. We attribute that to the general curriculum of Fairview High School and the teachers and the students who participate in that academic program. We look forward to a really good season this year. I'd like to introduce my team, if I may, or at least members of the team. This is Emily Menges, Jason Klein, and Karen Check, and I'm sure they have some things to say.
Yes, so what do you have to say about the Academic Sports League?
I really enjoyed the Academic Sports League last year, and I would highly recommend it if it's available in your school.
It's really a great program because it allows you to build your own abilities up and help your fellow students as well.
Very good.
Last year we placed really well, and this year we've got a bigger, better, and more prepared team, so we hope to do big things.
All right, Larry and the gang, thank you for joining us. Good luck to Fairview.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
We're in a league of our own.
And it's a great learning experience.
And we're making
Lots of new friends. Come on, we're having fun.
Score big in the game of life. Join your school's Academic Sports League.
Cool.
Yeah.
Edinburgh, University of Pennsylvania.
Crunchy, salt, crunchy, salt.
Why are the two biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they could have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the nacho cheese double-decker taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents, only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
A new name comes to Street Track and Trail in Conneaut Lake, and that name is Nissan. Nissan gives you a lot of great reasons to consider us for your next vehicle. Reasons like Nissan trucks, Quest minivans, Maxima, Altima, and Sentra sedans, and Pathfinders. And we're making Nissan the best buy in the tri-state region by giving you a variety of purchase plans to fit your needs. Watch for our weekly specials in the Erie Times, Meadville Tribune, and Venango papers. Nissan and Street Track and Trail. You'll like the combination.
Keystone Rehabilitation Systems is an independent physical therapy practice, treating sports and auto-related injuries, as well as injuries that occur at work or at home. With physical therapy, you can reach your maximum physical potential. Ask your physician about physical therapy, and once you have a prescription, choose one of Keystone's convenient locations. Let your doctor do the prescribing. You do the choosing. Choose Keystone Rehabilitation Systems. What's your time worth? How long would it take you to change the oil in your car, give it a lube, clean the windshield, check the fluids, and vacuum the interior? Pennzoil 10-minute oil change centers can do all that, plus check your car in 14 important areas in just 10 minutes. Now through December 31st, you'll receive a $6 mail-in rebate when you choose Pennzoil Performax 100, the 100% synthetic motor oil that works like liquid ball bearings, lowering consumption and protecting against engine wear. That's Pennzoil quality. Look for more valuable coupons from Pennzoil in your Coupon Keeper mailer, good at all Erie Pennzoil 10-minute oil change centers.
Also here at halftime, Cheryl Umberger of the PSEA with their Classroom Close-Ups program. And what exactly is that, Cheryl?
Well, Classroom Close-Ups is a series of spots that we're doing on the Erie area school districts to show the good things that are happening in public schools right now.
How did this all get started?
Well, I'm with the Pennsylvania State Education Association, and last year we became convinced that the best way to show the public the story of what's really happening in public schools is to show our teachers and our students doing the things that happen in schools.
And I'm sure that will reap benefits in the future. Right?
We hope so. We hope so. There are tremendous and exciting things that go on in Erie schools, the whole Erie area schools, and we believe that if people really take a look and if they really take the time, they'll see just what a great job we're doing.
Cheryl, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with the Classroom Close-Ups program.
Thank you, Gary.
All right, we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania is big enough to provide the best and small enough to make you feel at home. IUP has the academic resources of a doctoral university and the learning environment of a small liberal arts college. It offers academic programs in over 100 fields, along with one of the state's largest intern programs. And IUP has been recognized as one of the 5 safest campus environments in America. IUP, the smallest big university in Pennsylvania.
Dodge Intrepid has more available power than Camry, more available safety features than Accord. It's rated less expensive to maintain than Bonneville, and its cab-forward interior is bigger than Taurus's. So it's no surprise that Intrepid's resale value is higher than all of the above. Or should I say, all of the below. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything. Now lease the cab-forward room and stability of Intrepid for just $259 a month.
Nationally known as a premier Catholic university in the Franciscan tradition, it's St. Bonaventure University. Money Magazine has once again ranked St. Bonaventure as one of the best buys among all private colleges and universities in the entire Northeast United States. Known for its competitive Division I athletics, its esteemed academic reputation, and its supportive community, St. Bonaventure will challenge your mind to prepare you for success in life and a career. Join us for an open house this fall or for our student bus trip to campus from Mill Creek Mall to experience the St. Bonaventure spirit.
Erie Sports Store's Team Jacket sale is now in progress. Buy now and save 20% off on all licensed team jackets from Starter, Pro Player, Reebok, and DeLong. Choose from nearly 1,000 jackets and all the hottest teams. You will find a larger selection of team jackets at greater savings than at the Erie Sports Stores. Score big now during Erie Sports Store's Team Jacket sale going on now. Erie Sports Stores, we do it right.
Erie Sports Store.
This is Gary Drapcho with Jim LaCourchik back here at Veterans Stadium, where the Ramblers of Prep have blown open what was a close game until about 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. And here's the stats from the first half. 24-7 the score in favor of the Ramblers.
Well, I think if Minute George wanted to run the ball, he has to be pretty happy, Gary. 100 yards rushing the first quarter and 105 the second. They got 205 yards rushing already to 61 for Central. Central did not have a first down in the second quarter. Prep had 5 in the first quarter, 6 in the second. Turnovers, Prep 3, Central none, 220 to 69 total yards. Time of possession, fairly even, as they say in the business, right. Gary. 12:04, you're to 11:56, give or take 4 seconds. So excellent job by Cathedral Prep running the ball.
Yeah, the Ramblers should be leading this game actually more than what they are because of the 3 turnovers, and all of them came inside the 30 on 3 different possessions.
Gary, key for Prep, Justin Lustig lost 2 fumbles, but 20 rushes, 111 yards, 67 yards in kick returns, 178 all-purpose yards so far, and also the Prep defense coming on strong at the end. Gary?
Double-A first-round games. We showed you the Quad-A matchups a little earlier. Here's the Double-A games next Friday night at this time. Cambridge Springs down in Greenville. Northwestern will play here at the stadium. And then on Saturday, we'll have the Single-A matchups. The Triple-A, rather. General McLean here at the Vet. And Vincent will play either Hickory or Sharon, depending on who comes out of that league as the champion. They'll play down at Oil City. The Single-A also is taking place on Saturday. And they are Cathedral, Lake and Eisenhower at McDowell, and down in Meadville, Iroquois. Tim Merritt's Iroquois Braves will be playing down in Meadville against Kennedy Christian. Of course, the winner of this game will be playing at General McLean against the Meadville Bulldogs in the Quad A bracket, and then Warren and McDowell will play here at the stadium. That will be next Thursday.
In every game this year, Iroquois scored more points, Gary, in that game than Merritt's Iroquois team scored in the senior year combined.
I don't think.
And I think they only had 3 one game.
There you see the score and the time remaining until the kickoff here of the second half. Joe Tarasovich, the Central coach, has talked about what this means in terms of trying to get in on this last game. He would like to see the Metro League back the way it was, and here is what he had to tell us about that earlier.
I really believe that the Metro League should be put together the way it used to be. I know when we were at Academy High School before they closed Academy, we made a statement there, and I was just the assistant coach and Tim was the head coach, but we made it clear to people that we were going to play Cathedral Prep. We didn't care what class we were. We didn't care about the classification.
All right, the second half kickoff is brought to you by Taco Bell. Make a run for the border. The winner of this game goes in, Jim. It's kind of hard to have a 3-team league And what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with the fact that maybe the Metro League should at least get back together somewhat? I know they're going into different leagues next year. It's rather confusing, to be quite honest with you.
It's pathetic, Gary, but look at the interest in football. This is basically a playoff football game. There's nobody here. I mean, I know we do a sensational job of taking the game to the people at home, but, you know, nobody showed up because they're killing interest in football.
By doing these kinds of things, exactly. All right, Wilco's will boot it, and he gets a nice one off. This will send Don Johnson back to his 2. He fumbles the football. He goes into the end zone, and anytime a ball goes into the end zone, it is an automatic touchback. Central will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. There's been a lot of solutions suggested. Basically, it involves the Erie County League, and I think the Erie County League is the key to having anything done in this area. They have got to at least do something in terms of budge off of their current position, but the Erie County League will not budge off of their current status as a 10-team league. They want to stay that way.
I don't blame them. It's solid, but when McLean and Harbor Creek become Quad A, the Metro owes them nothing.
Here is the straight-ahead give to Lamar Owens, and he gets about 2 yards. No, he's still on his feet. Then he fumbles the football. He broke out of the pile. The ball is loose. It's fumbled. And there is Cathedral Prep's Matt DeRamo with the recovery. Yes, they say, first down Ramblers.
What was going on that play? Did Owens fumble the ball the first time and come out? He appears to be stopped here.
He just came out of it.
Came out of the pile. Now he fumbles. And the ball's rolling around on the ground. Matt DeRamo, Junior Matt DeRamo comes up with it.
First turnover of Central, but that is not the way Joe Tarasovich wanted to see the second half start. He's down 24-7. And the Ramblers get it at their own, or check that, at the Central 33-yard line.
Their first turnover of the evening.
Here's the give to Lustig, looking for a hole, and is driven to the ground. No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Chantel Mathis and Art Farrell combine to make the stop. And we'll call it second down and 10. But one thing that has always hurt the County League, especially the upper echelon of the County League, like General McLean, for example, Jim, I don't think playing a lot of Double-A teams, which they do during the season, over half of their games are against Double-A teams, prepares them well for the playoffs.
I don't think they care. I think they'd rather go 9-0.
Here's the flip back to Justin Lustig, who cuts it back inside, who gets it across the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. It'll be third down and about 6 yards from there. A two-troop making the stop on the play. But the record speaks for itself. Anytime a undefeated team comes out of the County League in football, it has never been able to advance any farther because they see the same type of football every single week. And then they get into the southern part of this district and see a different style of football, and it befuddles them, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it really does.
Third down and 6. George wants to throw. He's got Don Johnson bearing down on him. Gets the pass away, but it's short. Intended for Ed Serafini down around the 10-yard line. Don Johnson was bearing down on Owen George as he tried to throw it, and Lamar Owens was covering on the play.
A minute, George asking his staff where'd he come from, and basically a safety blitz. Nobody saw him. George lucky to get the ball off. Johnson, I believe, one of our players of the game once. Gary, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, for his defensive
Warren
efforts.
Harding or something like
right,
that?
in the game they lost to Warren Harding. Game they missed a field goal late and possibly could have won it. Fourth down and 6. Ramblers with a 24-7 lead can go for it under pressure. George tosses it up over the head of Justin Lustig, incomplete. Art Farrell was defending on the play, and the turnover of downs will give it to Central at the 33-yard line. Here is our lineup after the game. It's Trick or Treat as the comedy group The State Stars in their broadcast TV debut, followed by Newswatch 35 Night Beat, Sports Watch 35 with Bill Flanagan, A.J. Lilly, and yours truly in the gang, and Dave with The Late Show. If you've been watching Dave Letterman, he's had some kid named Sparky reporting from the World Series. We had a chance to talk to Sparky. How'd you like that, being an 8-year-old kid and reporting for David Letterman on the World Series?
I'd be better than being named Sparky.
They ask Chipper Jones how he got his nickname. You know how Chipper Jones got his nickname, the Braves? No. He was a chip off the old block.
Oh, nice.
They kept on calling him Chipper. Not exactly original, but it stuck with him, I guess.
What was Sparky's father, a firebug or an arsonist?
Sparky.
Gary, you got to give credit to the Central defense. If anytime a team could have quit, it would have been them. Down 24-7, turning the ball over. That was kind of impressive.
Yeah, the Falcons held their ground, and they get it again. Here's Troop pitching it back to Lamar Owens, and Owens, you hear the leather crack Matt Duramo, number 2. Ryan Irvin, number 44, there to make the stop. Game 6 tomorrow. Martinez and Glavin. We had Tom Glavin on one of our live shots from Jacobs Field. He, of course, former Cy Young winner, won Game 2, but the Braves lead the series 3-2. This could easily be the Indians up 3-2. The Braves could have swept the series already. It has been that close of a series, and the Indians won a huge game last night. They'll take their chances in Atlanta.
Pete Old's coming on very strong the last couple weeks for Prep defensively. Had a good hit that time. He's got to be throwing this time.
Pitch back to Owens. He wants a throw back to Troop. Troop was wide open, and Owens couldn't get the ball to him. Ryan Irvin was defending on the play, and Troop, as he flipped it to Owens and then went out to the outside to try to get it again, was wide open.
They didn't disguise his play very well, but Troop was still wide open. You can see all the room he had there, Gary. And Owens, a quarterback for most of the season, you'd expect a better effort.
Maybe wasn't warmed up. Eric DeFelice back in punt formation on 4th down and 7.
9 weeks into the season, you like to think he might be.
DeFelice shanks it, and it comes back into the field of play and is down at the 49-yard line. So the Ramblers up 24-7 with 8:56 to play in the third. We'll take over the football 1st and 10. We are glad you've joined us tonight for our game of the week. We're glad that you joined us all season. Had some thrilling moments, especially the last few weeks. The McDowell Prep game last week in those terrible rain conditions probably was one of the most exciting endings that we've seen in a long time. There is the mini Metro League of Quad A, Jim.
Nice.
And you see the overall records with, of course, McDowell leading the pack. Straight ahead give to Laird, and Chris Quarter making the stop on the play. Looked like he got a piece of the face mask.
A piece of it. I couldn't see a piece of it he didn't get, Gary.
Prep on its way to being 3-6 when they enter the playoffs in Central with a 1-8 season. And in talking to Coach Joe Tarasovich, as you see, Vincent will be moving on as the AAA representative. He was in our studios earlier this week, and he talked about how tough it was. I mean, when you've been to the Western Finals 2 consecutive years, waiting for the call from the official, face mask penalty. Gives the ball 1st and 10 to the 36. But when you've been to the Western Finals 2 consecutive years, how tough is it all of a sudden to go 1-8 and to have key injuries to people like Randy Carson, a Troop was out for much of the season?
Especially with his intensity and pride.
Here's to give to Lustig. He's got the corner. He's at the 30, the 25. DeFelice slows him down, and then they knock him out at the 20-yard line. Steve Masson did the honors. But it's another huge gain for Lustig, who had 111 yards rushing at halftime, and he picks up about 15 more right there. It'll be at the 20 and 1st and 10.
Right here, you can see I just hand it off to him, let him read it. He takes it outside, and as you said, Gary, he had the corner immediately. Gary, I was talking to one of my favorite people last night, Ronnie Ruler, the McDowell coach. We'll get into this after the end of Lustig's run and the end of this play.
George takes the snap. Here comes Lustig again. Nice stutter step at the line of scrimmage to shake free, then gets about 5 yards to the 15.
Talking to Ronnie Rudler rather than go, oh, geez, we don't want to play Prep again. He goes, you know, there's got to be 4 teams from this area. We gave up our 10th game to get in the playoffs. Then they're cutting out games, these people. Prep deserves to be in. Central deserves to be in. Whoever. He goes, it'll be a great game if we play Prep again. You know, he's such a positive guy. Ron Rudler's tremendous for football, but he was just raving about some of the Prep kids last night, including Justin Lustig. He's just so high on Lustig.
Yeah, what a great game and a great program McDowell has built out there. Athletic Director Dave Hanlon. Here comes Lustig, nearly skipped through a hole, gets a 1st down inside the 10 of the 9 as Dale Vactor makes the stop on the play, but the Ramblers 1st and goal from just inside the 10-yard line.
Gary, again, you can see right here Lustig getting a hole, and you got to give credit to that Prep offensive line. Cesar Montevecchio back in at center, too, but Mitch Kraskevich, Jim Walsh, Eugene Crosby, Aaron Hurdle, Ed Serafini, they came on strong against McDowell, and they kept it up.
1st and goal at the 9. Here's George giving it to Lockett. Lockett trying to turn the corner. They've got him, and down he goes. Nice play by Steve Franz, number 20, who hung on from behind and dragged the speedy Lockett to the ground back at the 11 for a loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and goal from there. We're down to 7:15 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and a timeout will be called here by the Ramblers. We'll take a timeout to Cathedral Prep in the lead.
Hurry, Mom!
Don't worry, I've got the Giant Eagle Advantage card.
How can one piece of plastic be so fantastic? Don't need those others, no!
Our advantage card makes what was hard as simple as C5. It's not complex.
I can cash my checks. I got data video. I'll choose the card.
In all our stores, special discounts are yours. As simple as C5. Simple as C5. Giant Eagle.
With a newly enhanced Vortec 4300 V6 engine and available push-button four-wheel drive, the GMC Jimmy can handle virtually anything you might encounter on the road. But you may appreciate Jimmy even more for its ability to get you out of your own driveway. See the Jimmy at your GMC truck dealer now.
Third quarter action. We've got 7:14 remaining, and the Ramblers have a 24-7 lead as they try to put this one in the books. Here we are. Jim LaCorcia, Gary Drapcho, Steve Sensor, you see, wearing a, is that a Notre Dame hat? Jeez. Matt Cummings doing our spotting. Oh, and George barely got the handoff away to Lockett, and he goes into the end zone for a touchdown. Barely got the handoff. Lockett secured it. And 11 yards later, it is a touchdown for Mark Lockett. And, man, he showed a burst of speed running up through there.
Gary, those are those big plays I was talking about. Central almost made a huge play defensively. George did a great job of getting the ball off to Lockett. Right here, George is being tackled, and Lockett shows surprising power. We know he has quickness.
So at the 7:09 mark of quarter number 3, the Ramblers have a 30-7 lead. Eric Wilkos out of the hold of Owen George boots home point number 31. 31-7 in favor of the Ramblers. We'll be right back with more from Veterans Stadium.
Crunchy, salt, crunchy, salt.
Why are the two biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they could have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the nacho cheese double-decker taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
Clarion University. We offer more than 70 different academic choices to help you prepare for a career. In some of the hottest, fastest growing fields. Clarion University, meeting the challenge of a professional career.
Gary Drapcho with Jim LaCorcia as the Ramblers put together more points and a bigger lead. It's 31-7 now. Again, Don Johnson lets the ball go through his hands, and we'll go into the end zone where the touchback will give Central the ball at the 20-yard line.
Prep went 49 yards in 6 plays. Mark Lockett 11 yards over left tackle for the touchdown.
Our sideline camera provided by Brown Equipment in Westlaw Road in Northeast for all of your lawn and garden equipment. Nothing runs like a deer.
Now that's the truth, Gary.
Absolutely.
Mark Stepnoski's painting was unveiled or dedicated tonight.
Yeah, we had Mel Witherspoon and Tim Pearson on at halftime. And I asked Mr. and Mrs. Stepnoski, you don't make too many plans to go to the Super Bowl when you're playing for the Houston Oilers. It's a lot different than playing for Dallas. There is Stepnoski's All-Pro, 93 and 94, and probably a few more before he's done if he's able to hang in there in Houston. Houston becomes a football team again, although the Oilers may be leaving.
Yeah.
Houston. I mean, the Astros are rumored to be leaving down there, and the Oilers may be moving as well.
Who can blame them?
Second down and 10. No gain on that last play as Jerry Troop runs the option play and turns it back at Field to the 23 for a gain of 3. We'll call it third down and 7. McDowell ending their season 8-1, beating Altoona tonight, a team which defeated Cathedral Prep down in Altoona earlier this year.
You know, you got to love coaches. I talked to John Cashone before the Prep Altoona game. He says Prep should kill Altoona. They should just destroy him, right? Then I saw John Cashone last night as they get ready for Altoona. He goes, you know, they're a lot better than I thought they were. I go, John, remember who you're talking to.
So McDowell will be primed for the playoffs as Jerry Troop eludes one tackle, throws it, and it goes right through the hands of Dale Vactor, incomplete. At the 25-yard line, Mike Zona in on the coverage, running down Jerry Troop and putting pressure on him as he tried to throw the football.
Gary, Troop's going to be a good quarterback down the line, but he just needs to get a better touch on his passes. He has an arm, but he has two arms, but he can really throw the ball. But he just throws a little too hard sometimes.
But he had both of those arms tonight.
Yes, he did.
All right, DeFelice back in punt formation again. Wobbles one over towards the sideline. You sense the fact that they're kicking it away from Justin Lustig, perhaps.
Wisely so.
They'll down it at the 48. All right, Jim, let's look across and look at Carpet Craftsman.
I love looking there. Gary, Carpet Craftsman is trusted by area businesses like the Bel Air, the Avalon, and Peak and Peak, and they've been on every street in the city of Erie. Like some people I know, they invite you to come in with some ideas, but remember, guys, it's whatever she wants. That's our motto. Carpet Craftsman, 27th and French, across from Veterans Stadium. Right there, we're looking at it.
We are looking at it indeed. And when we ran that spot, things got really funky in the first half after that.
Yeah, that's
as you
right.
see Lockett being nailed. But the game, by the way, in case you're just joining, it was a close game. 8-7 Prep lead with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the half. And Central was backed up 4th and 10 at the 5-yard line. And it looked scary when Eric DeFelice ran out of the end zone on a punt formation, taking an automatic safety. It was 10-7 then. Why he did that at that moment, we'll never know. But on the ensuing kickoff, Justin Lustig took it all the way down to the 1, and one play later, Prep had another touchdown. Here's Lockett, and Lockett runs for 2 more yards, make it 3rd down and about 9.
Minute George taking a look at a lot of players early on in the game, Gary, or at least early in the 3rd quarter. He's given Lockett a lot of play as Lustig, after a huge start, kind of getting a break.
Getting back to that second quarter that went from 8-7 with 4 minutes to go in the half to 24-7 at halftime, just like that. It was amazing.
As you pointed out, though, Gary, this is not the same Central team that started the season.
Right. A lot of injuries, a few suspensions as well, as Owen George runs the quarterback keeper nicely and gets close to first down yardage inside the 45 to the 44.
Just looking at some of the Central players, again, number 32, that sophomore linebacker, Farrell, still playing very, very hard. Owen George playing with a lot of confidence on the option. I'll tell you what, even last week he looked much better running the ball. He's a threat.
4th down and a yard to go. And if Cathedral Prep is able to hold on to this 31-7 lead, 3 minutes and 50 seconds and counting left to play here in the 3rd quarter, they will be moving on in the semifinals facing Meadville next Thursday. George straight ahead and appears to have the first down, and does at the 41. Chantel Mathis comes up off the bottom of the pile along with Eric Farrell.
A lot of sportsmanship going on out there, Gary. People just helping each other up, pat, and say, listen, you know, we're doing the best we can. Let's just play it out. Who's the center? Is Montevecchio back in there?
58?
Yeah. Is he back?
I believe that is Cesar Montevecchio, number 58.
Did a nice job that time getting running room for Owen George.
And we have not seen Rasan Powell, the regular fullback. Here's Serafini on an end around, and they've got him covered. And he breaks free, gets a couple more yards before they finally bounced him out of bounds. But a nice bit of running by Ed Serafini. Turned a Ken Waldo making the stop after Serafini turned a 2-yard loss into about a 3-yard gain.
Serafini's a tough kid, Gary. Right here you can see he should have been stopped for a 2-yard loss, and he just knocked aside a couple people and picked up 3 or 4 yards. There it is. Boom. Please get out of my way. Thank you. And here it is.
3:15 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 31-7 in favor of the Ramblers as they try to tune it up for the playoffs. Here's Staub straight ahead. Breaks off a couple. Gets to the 35-yard line. Eric Farrell rams him. Comes up off the bottom of the pile along with Steve Masson.
Boy, Prep just pounding it. Gary, they're playing with a lot of confidence, I'll tell you.
Yes, they are.
We watched them last week against McDowell on a very, very muddy field. They moved the ball pretty good.
Yeah, they did. That was an outstanding football game. It was scoreless, of course. Our first overtime that we have had here in the game of the week, with McDowell coming out the victor, clinching the first place Quad A Metro League spot in the playoffs. George on the option gets it to Lockett, and Lockett is snowed under. Number 31, Chantel Mathis, did the honors on Lockett. He is dropped for a 3-yard loss back to the 38. It'll be 4th down and 7 from there.
Lamar Owens made George pitch the ball, and then good contained defense. Right here, Owens comes up, gets George, and then Lockett is hit by, as you said, Mathis and another player out there.
By the way, besides our bowling shootout this winter, we have another winter basketball schedule. We'll have the McDonald's McDowell tip-off tournament on Saturday, December 2nd. The Villa Maria Women's Holiday Shootout, December 27th. The Perico Cup Championship on December 30th. The Roadhouse Shootout Championship on January the 6th. Plus some other games. You see our basketball schedule in the month of January, not including our games I mentioned in December. Vincent and Mercier's Prep Girls. And then some bigger games, including Prep and McDowell in basketball as well.
As long as you're on the subject, Prep had an announcement today. Former great point guard Jim Stevenson has joined their staff.
Great. I remember that. Here's a pitch back to Lustig, a direct snap to him on 4th down. He tries to get the first down and stretches forward and does. Steve Franz made the tackle. They were in punt formation. The direct snap went to Justin Lustig, the up man in that punt formation, and he runs it for a first down. So Minna George pulls one out of the back of the playbook to keep this drive alive.
Right here, direct snap to Justin Lustig, and he knows how far he has to get to, Gary, and he gets exactly that distance. Irvin coming in, the big sophomore fullback, getting some time. We haven't seen too much at the fullback spot.
Time offensively is right.
He's at the tailback. It's one big tailback for a 10th grader.
Now to a minute 25 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And here comes Irvin with a big hole over the left side as a first down as he rumbles to the 18-yard line. Ryan Irvin doing the job, coming in at the fullback position. Don Johnson, Ken Waldo banged him on the play.
Gary's running right here, a huge hole behind Jim Walsh and Aaron Hurdle. Boom. Irvin's a load.
You bet. And only a sophomore.
So I hope he doesn't get mad. He's a big kid.
A big kid, tough to bring down, and he's out of that I formation. And he's got the ball again, and he runs over one tackler, gets maybe a yard or two to the 16-yard line as we're under a minute to play here in the third quarter.
Gary, that's all you want to see when you're center. You're playing your hearts out, you're tired, and they bring in a fresh, 6'3", 210-pound sophomore fullback that's looking to hit somebody.
He keeps banging away at you, right? Glad you could join us for our game of the week, and we wish all of the playoff teams that have advanced and had good enough seasons, like McDowell and more than likely Cathedral Prep here, General McLean, Northwestern, and Iroquois have all qualified from the County League in their respective classes. Here comes Irvin banging his way again inside the 15 of the 14. Steve Massoni making the stop on the play.
And Irvin, a sophomore, running behind the block of another sophomore, Tony Bowers. We talked about it earlier. Bowers, just a sophomore, been lifting weights many, many years. Benches about 325, which is quite a lot for a 10th grader in high school.
That is the end of the third quarter here. It is a big lead for the Ramblers of Cathedral Prep, 31-7. We'll be right back.
Open the door to variety, to value, to convenience. Hey, we know you're in a hurry. Shop smart. Shop PennSmart.
The Sports Section. The nation's leader in youth sports photography. The Sports Section. Unique, creative, and collectible. The Sports Make Section. Your team season truly memorable. Call Scott Kuhn at 825-8344. The Sports Section.
There are lots of new model introductions. But the best one is at your Toyota dealer. Because the 1996 Toyota trucks have arrived. Toyota Tacomas with class-leading power and payload and big savings. Or lease now and save with Toyota's special introductory offer. Save on Toyota's big T100. Now's the time to get a new Toyota truck because it's not just any introduction, it's the best one. At your Toyota dealer now.
Buy a new Holland E Series backhoe from Cafferland Sales and Service and make the earth move. Features include 2-lever backhoe controls, 4-wheel drive axles, fully enclosed high-visibility cab, and hydraulic extendable dipper sticks. Full financing programs are available, including rental purchase, and lease plan financing. Come see the complete B-Series New Holland backhoe line at Cathedral Sales and Service, Route 97, Union City.
Gary Drapjo with Jim Lekorchik, 31-7. The Ramblers, Jim, looks like they have this one pretty much in hand. It was that last 4 minutes of the first half that really did them in.
Boy, I'll tell you, there it was 8-7. Then what was it, 24-7? We're still trying to get acquainted.
All right, first down. Check that. 3rd down and 6 as we start the 4th quarter. And a run off the right side into the end zone for a touchdown. Tony Bowers bowling his way in from that fullback position. I don't know if he was even touched, but he has got a touchdown from 14 yards out, and it is 37-7. A 30-point lead now for the Ramblers on the first play of the 4th quarter.
Mitch Kroskevich and Eugene Crosby getting the good blocks. As you said, Tony Bowers, a very strong player, and we talked about this, Gary. The last thing you want is to see a young, strong kid coming in when you're tired, and I mean, they just blew him off the ball.
That Bowers-Irvin backfield looks pretty good. Here's a Wilco's in for the point after. This one is good, and of course we'll take a break. It has been all Cathedral prep tonight. They are blowing the Falcons out of the building.
Hi, I'm Bob Ferrando, and I'm here at the Erie School District's Veterans Stadium. This is a big place, but the selection at Bob Ferrando Ford World is so large that we can fill this stadium 3 times. We stock in volume so we can sell in volume with prices as low as $69.99 for a new Aspire and $99.99 for a brand new Escort. We guarantee the lowest prices in the tri-state area on every new Ford in stock. That's why nobody outsells Bob Ferrando Ford World in Girard. Nobody!
Garbage? Not necessarily. Food scraps and yard waste don't have to end up in the trash. Recycle them the natural way. Compost, right in your own backyard. Composting is easy, and it's great for your lawn and garden.
For more recycling information, call the recycling hotline at 814-451-6009.
Kicking off here after another touchdown for the Ramblers, and they're going to call for a fair catch.
A wise decision.
You bet. Farrell makes the fair catch. And the Falcons down 38-7 now by 31 points. Will have it at the 33-yard line.
Well, Gary, we can start looking ahead. You know, it's unbelievable. We're done, right?
Yeah, we're done with the regular season. The game of the week is over with. We'll, of course, take a look at the playoffs, especially when they get deeper into the playoffs, and talk about televising perhaps a championship game down the road or something like that.
You and I started talking about this in March. We're all excited, and it's over.
And we're already talking about next year, as a matter of fact, as both teams are heading into new conferences. And it's going to be a shame because we talked about this earlier. Teams like Central and Cathedral Prep or Central and McDowell really will not be playing Vincent anymore. So that the Vincent Central and the Vincent Prep game is no longer. Here's our player of the game on the Ramblers side. We're going to give it to Ryan Irvin, the sophomore linebacker. He really played a great game and has played great for Minna George defensively all season.
How big is he, Gary?
He is big. Where's our chart right there? Ryan Irvin, he's listed at 6 foot 200 pounds.
Yeah.
That looks like Jim Shar out there, doesn't he? Remember Shar?
Yep.
Pitch back to Owens.
His baseball cards are available now, by the way. I've seen it.
And here goes Lamar Owens at the 40, the 45, and down to the 47-yard line. Good running by Lamar Owens. Picks up a first down. We'll decide on the Central player of the game in just a moment.
You know, Lustig's big kickoff return helped turn this game around after the safety, too. You don't want to forget that play.
Absolutely.
I mean, Central basically was trying to just get out of there alive, even took the safety, and boy, that just gave Prep all the momentum.
Yeah, that is where the game changed. DeFelice took the safety with 4:07. You see Lamar Owens slightly shaken up and coming off. 4:07 remained in that first half when DeFelice, by orders of his head coach, took a safety. When trying to punt from his own end zone, he simply took the snap and ran out of the end zone purposely, made it 10-7. But when they punted and tried to stop Prep and keep it at a 3-point game, Lustig took that kickoff about 65 yards all the way down to the 1-yard line. They scored a couple of plays later, and that's really where this game began to be a blowout.
Gary, that was Central's first down since middle of the first period.
Lamar Owens doing the honors there, and a gain of 2 yards on the play as a two-troop number 7 runs the football for Joe Tarasovich. This will be it for the Central Falcons. They will end with a disappointing 1-8 record. The Ramblers will be 3-6. McDowell, after winning in Altoona tonight, 28-14, will end up 8-1 on the season. Their only loss to Youngstown Ursuline back on week number 2. Here's the give to Andy Young, the fullback, and Young has another first down as he rumbles it down to the 41-yard line. Phil Auditore making the stop. Justin Lustig also off the bottom of the pile for the Ramblers.
You know, it's funny, Gary, we watched Prep leave the field. Well, you'll see the stats right now. Overwhelming total yards, 389 as Prep rushed for 285. Central 81 passing, Central 8, Prep 15. Turnovers, 1 for the Falcons, 3 for the Ramblers. Time of possession dominated in the third quarter overall by Prep, 20-56 to just under 14.
And you see a offensive lineman for Central about 3 or 4 yards downfield before the snap of the football. I think that's illegal.
Still, even on a night like this.
Although Joe Tarasovich would like to try anything and get away with it at this juncture, trailing 38-7.
You know, Gary, it's strange. Last week at this time we were watching Prep, dejected Prep team leave the field. They probably thought their season was over because history was on the side that you're not going to get in the playoffs. This week they're 3-6, and they kind of got some momentum and they're excited. So the Ramblers with a win will move on. This basically was a playoff game. Steve Mousson having a good game for Central defensively.
Back to throw is Troop. He'll flip it out. He has Farrell for a first down or close to it. Now he does as he rips it across the 30 and gets down to the 27-yard line. And it is a first down. Nice misdirection by Troop as Eric Farrell comes down with the catch.
Eric Farrell's had a nice all-around game.
Yes, he has,
Falcons,
both offensively and defensively.
One of our favorite sophomores. Nice ball handling by Troop. Farrell coming out, going both ways this evening. He has not quit at all, Gary.
So Jerry Troop with a first down will, of course, take you up to 10 o'clock. As here comes Farrell again, putting his head down and pinrolling it to the 25-yard line for a gain of 3. Anytime there is a blowout, we'll make sure that according to our contractual arrangement with CBS, we will show you that CBS game at 10 o'clock, or that CBS program at 10 o'clock. Here's our player of the game on Central side. It is Eric Farrell. We just saw him catch a pass and run the football, but he's had a good game defensively as well.
Some new players in for Prep. Chris Dudley, a 10th grader. Brian Bates, a senior defensive tackle. And we'll try and keep everybody posted.
So a couple of sophomores, perhaps giving way to the future here. Troop firing and incomplete. It was intended for Vactor. A flag goes down. He got stuck in the mask of one of the Prep defensive backs. I don't think he liked that
official. Yeah.
I know. Besides committing the interference call penalty, he got a flag stuck in his mask.
Go to the dentist tomorrow. What happened? I was playing football. Somebody, the official stuck a beanbag between my face.
I actually saw that at a Browns game when Carl Hairston was playing for the Browns. Got called for an offsides penalty. They threw the flag, and you know how there's like a weight at the end of those flags. Went through Carl's
defensive pass interference, automatic first down.
Went through his face mask, Jim. It hit him in the eye, and actually he had to come out of the game for a couple of plays because it hit him straight in the eye. Pass interference call, you heard it. First down at the 12-yard line. Here's the pitch back to Andy Young, and Young is driven out by number 21 of the Ramblers, Sean Henry. 40, Chris Dudley also over there to get a hand in on the tackle. Let's go to our Pennzoil play of the game, Jim, and you called it. It was 10-7. Central had just committed the intentional safety when this happened.
Lustig picks it up, a squib kick, and he broke it to the left and was knocked out of bounds on what, the 1-yard line by Eric DeFelice, Gary?
Eric DeFelice prevented a touchdown, which the Ramblers would get 2 plays later. Here's Young straight up the middle at the 5, trying to turn the corner, and gets ridden down at the 1-yard line. So he comes up a yard short. Vern Dobbs, number 11, runs Andy Young down a yard short of the goal line. But it is good enough for a first down. It'll be first and goal for Central from there.
sure Joe Tarasovich, he's got his work cut out for him, Gary. Joe Tarasovich, a 1-8 season. A lot of kids he kind of got rid of, some kids he was counting on. He's got to rebuild the program.
Yes, he does. He'll have his work cut out for him throughout the offseason. Straight ahead to Jerry Troop. And Troop, while the quarterback sneak, is into the end zone for a touchdown. Central touchdown with 7:54 remaining here in the fourth quarter. But it does little to dent into the lead of Cathedral Preps. It is now 38-13, and it looks like they'll be going for two.
Right here, nice job by the Central offensive line on the drive in a hole, Gary. They did a very good job. So they're bringing in Laird to try the extra point. I guess maybe they'll just kick it and try and get to 38-14.
As we wrap up this season, we congratulate all of the coaches and players who simply put in their time and their effort in participating in high school sports. Bad snap, and DeFelice will have to swallow it. The point is no good, and it is now a 38-13 game with 7:54.
Game of the Week has been brought to you by Taco Bell, Cross the Border, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Giant Eagle, it takes a giant to make life simple, your Pennzoil 10-minute oil change tenders and PennSmarts, and the new Dodge.
Gary, Central went 67 yards in 11 plays. That extra point, now I don't know if DeFelice got a bad snap or just didn't handle
just
it.
Stone-handed, yeah.
Whatever happened, he paid for it.
He had to swallow it.
He won't drop it again if it was his fault. Let it go behind you.
Thanks to you, Jim, for a great season again here. We'll have you back for basketball. It's going to be an exciting basketball season again in the Metro League, and they don't realize the great fun we have, besides the fact that we're actually paid to do this, huh?
Yeah. Oh, are we getting paid?
Oh, you mean you're not? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned that, I guess.
You deserve mine anyhow.
Yeah, Matt Cummings isn't getting paid. Yeah, well, you got your Subway sub before the game, Matt. There you go. Onside kick is recovered by Jake Sack, number 24, and the Ramblers will get it back at 7:53. When the games are a blowout, we'll go to the CBS programming at 10 o'clock, show you them in their entirety. But when the game is close, like last week, McDowell and Prep into overtime, well, of course, stay with it. Of course, 38-13 with 7 minutes remaining is rather a blowout, to say the least.
All right, number 3 in at quarterback for Prep, Gary. Anxious to see some new numbers out there for the Ramblers offensively. Number 3 at quarterback. Is that Hinkler who came in when George had been injured in that Cleveland St. Ed's game?
Right. He came in there for a play or two. Tries to turn the corner. A 5'10", 165-pound junior is Eric Hinkler. And we'll be joining the CBS programming in about a minute. We thank everybody, our spotters, our statistician, Steve Sensor, Erie Cablevision, and everybody who's had a chance, TCI of Pennsylvania, to lead to our game of the week. Of course, we wish all of the teams, the players, the coaches, the fans, good luck in the playoffs. Hope you do well, and hope we catch you somewhere down the line, either in a big playoff game or maybe a state championship
Also
game.
at the tailback, Ryan